Grand evening, grand evening. It's about 8:30 p.m. Southern Texas, in the Houston area, northwest of the Houston area, in the burbs. About 40 miles from Houston, northwest. On this Sunday, I'm sitting out in my microfood forest, enjoying the nice, cool night. As I sit here, I'm thinking about all the things that happened this weekend in the world. A few things that's going on in the United States. There's three things I want to talk about as I sit here in the microfood forest. The first one is the No King rally, the No King rally, which I guess is against the current president Donald Trump. How people are, I guess, had this protest around the country. They're not happy about illegal migrants being deported, which I don't understand why they're not happy about that, because they came here illegally, so it is what it is. They're basically just mad, I think, because Trump is president again. It is what it is. I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's all the ATVs and dirt bikes that are going down my street. I live here. I live out here in the burbs, so people have ATVs, dirt bikes, and all that, and they're always riding them on the weekends. So that's what you heard. But anyway, now it's quiet again, which I'm glad. And with the No Kings protest, I guess they were protesting about that. I'm always going to say this when I talk about politics. I don't talk about politics too much because, you know, my micro food forest is a way for me to get away from all that nonsense, politics and all that. But I will say this: I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican right now. Right now, I'm an independent. Right now, I'm currently just an independent, you know. But I am on the more. I will say this: I'm more conservative, way more conservative than I am liberal. I'll say that. I'm more conservative. So that's one of the things that are going on. The second thing that's going on, I'm talking about three things. The second thing that's going on right now in the country is the tariffs, the World War tariffs started by President Trump, which I think, for the long run, is actually a good thing for the country as a whole. And I remember when these tariffs first started a few months ago, how the whole country was panicking here in the United States, saying, "Oh, everything's going to go through the roof. People are going to be not getting supplies from China and everywhere else." it's going to be a bad situation. Economy is going to be a bad. It's going to be a bad economy now due to the tariffs. And here we are now, a couple months later, and from what I've seen, the tariffs haven't really hasn't really caused an economic crisis here in the United States at all. People are still going to the stores. We're still getting our supplies. Everything's still going normally with no problem, you know. So, as usual, when we have a crisis or disaster in America, the first thing the media puts out, which I call fake news, they want everybody to panic. Panic, panic, panic. You're going to starve. None of that has happened. It's just all fake news and nonsense. None of that's happened during these tariffs. Everything is going fine. There's not a shortage of supplies in all the big box stores and grocery stores. You know, some of the prices have gone up a little bit, but oh well. That's the cost of this tariffs war. In order to get it right, things got to be shooken up a little bit. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the government shutdown. The government shutdown, which was caused by the Democratic Party, caused this government shutdown. That's a reality, folks. And I think the government's been shut down. This is the 17th day, because I think it shut down on October 1st. I think it's the 17th day. A little over 3 weeks since it's been shut down. It doesn't seem that way, but you know. But it's been about 3 weeks, 17 days with the government shut down. And I think the government shutdown has had more of an impact on the American people, the citizens, than the tariffs war. The government shutdown caused by the Democrats, who shut the government down, the Democrat Party did, has more of a impact on American citizens than this tariffs war. So, and the government shutdown continues to go on because the Democrats refuse to let the government open back up. That's the reality. So, those are some of the crises that we are dealing with in America, in its economy, in 2025. And another thing, I was following the news. I see that they found at the airport in Florida, where the president was visiting Florida, they found a hunter's shooting stand up in the trees at the airport. The Secret Service found a hunter's shooting stand at the right near the airport, right outside the airport in the woods. It wasn't in the airport; it was outside the airport in the woods. And the hunter's shooting stand, it had a direct angle towards Air Force One, where the president, with Air Force One at the airport. It was the hunter stand was pointed right in that direction, right near the airport, that's pretty scary. That's pretty scary for the Secret Service and the president to know that someone put a shooting hunter's stand up in the tree pointed right towards Air Force One at the airport. So, from what I understand, the Secret Service immediately found this hunter stand. They're investigating. They're probably going to find out who it is. It is Secret Service. You know, they got all the intel they need. They're probably going to find out who it is in the next couple of days, probably, and so forth. And person probably will be dealt with from a legal standpoint. Not good for that person, you know. We don't know if it was an actual hunting stand to hunt wild game, or was that hunting stand up in the tree right outside of the airport in the woods. Excuse me. Was it put there to for to bring harm to the president? We don't know that, but we will find out. So those are some of the things that are going on that are in my mind. The No Kings ceremony against Trump, the tariffs war, it continues on, and right now, I want to say this about the tariffs war. The tariffs war, it hasn't had a real impact, really. The stock market hasn't really crashed. It went down real low one time about 2 months ago, and that's when I actually was a good time. It got down to a dip. That was a good time to actually buy some stock. So hopefully a lot of you guys are investing. Like I invest a little bit. You bought some stock like I did, and you made some money. But it hasn't. The tariffs war really hasn't hurted the stock market. The stock market is still going strong, and people are actually taking advantage of this tariffs war in the stock market because they're buying all the stocks when the stock market dips at a lower price as it goes back up. They're making money. So the stock market is doing pretty good, I think, in this economy. The government shutdown, it continues on. We're going into the fourth week, I think. I think it'll be the fourth week, starting next week, I think. So, going into the fourth week. And I'm hoping that as I sit here watching all this beautiful growing food here, growing food is, for me, is a distraction. Growing food for me is a distraction from dealing with all the nonsense that is going on in this country and in the world with our economy and all that. This is how I detox and get away from all that nonsense. I grow food. I create an environment like right here that's beautiful to me. And this helps me detox from what's going on around me, things that I cannot control. Like I spoke of, I can't control none of these things. So this helps me a whole lot. Growing food. So I don't want to hold you guys up. This was just a talk with Redemptive Life Wayne, me, amongst the city out here in my food forest, micro food forest, about some of the things that are on my mind that's going on in the country. So I hope you enjoy my little talk about the issues I talked about. I hope you're growing some food. You're detoxing, manifesting, hydrating. I hope you're finding your chi. Until next time, We got to save ourselves. Because ain't nobody coming to save us.